In the whimsical, wind-swept town of Puffin Cove, nestled along the rugged coast of Newfoundland and Labrador, lived a spirited group of children who loved nothing more than to explore. There was Liam, with his quick, curious mind and a knack for solving any puzzle, from a tangled fishing knot to a tricky riddle. Then there was Olivia, whose organizational skills were legendary. She could arrange anything from a chaotic pile of beach stones to a complicated treasure map with effortless grace. And finally, there was Sam, a whirlwind of boundless energy, always the first to scale the highest rock face or race the waves down to the lighthouse. Every glorious summer in Puffin Cove, the highlight of the season was the highly anticipated Puffin Parade. It was a day brimming with joyous melodies from accordions and violins, vibrant floats adorned with seaweed and wildflowers, and the grand unveiling of a magnificent, giant wooden puffin statue. Mayor Mildred, a kind woman with spectacles perpetually perched on her nose and a smile as warm as a summer's day, beamed at them. Children, this year's puffin needs to be the most dazzling yet. It requires hundreds, nay, thousands of tiny, shimmering seashells, each glued just so, to catch the light and sparkle like the ocean on a sunny day. Liam, ever the strategist, immediately pulled out a worn notepad and a stubby pencil. Right. To ensure maximum sparkle, we'll need a precise grid for the shells, mapped out perfectly. I'll measure every curve and contour, calculating the exact placement for each size and color of shell. Olivia, meanwhile, surveyed the vast piles of seashells that had been collected by the community, pearly whites, iridescent blues, sandy browns, and blushing pinks. Chaos, she declared, though with a twinkle in her eye. We need order. Sam, however, possessed the enthusiasm of 100 puffins taking flight at once. Who needs all these plans and sorting, he exclaimed, bouncing on the balls of his feet. Let's just get to it. The more sparkle, the faster. We'll just slap on the glue and stick them on. Ready, set, glue. For the first few days, the workshop where the puffin statue stood became a whirlwind of activity, but not always a harmonious one. The puffin statue itself started to look less like a majestic bird and more like a colorful, but very messy, and somewhat bewildered, creature. Liam worked tirelessly on his precise grid, stretching strings and making pencil marks across the wooden puffin's surface. He'd often let out a frustrated sigh when Sam's haphazard gluing smeared his carefully drawn lines or when shells ended up in the wrong section, throwing off his intricate calculations. On the evening before the parade, with the puffin statue still looking rather chaotic and the children feeling utterly defeated, Mayor Mildred paid another visit. She didn't scold them. Instead, she sat quietly on a nearby crate, watching them with a gentle, understanding gaze. With renewed determination and a shared purpose, they began again, but this time, they worked as one, a synchronized dance of planning, sorting, and sticking. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Bye.